Students, so again we are going to continue with the chapter number 5. Last lecture we have seen some basic control, but there are some controls which are there in your syllabus on which you are going to get some theory question during your exam, that we are going to learn in today's session. So basically just see the diagram, that is T diagram is there. We are having control, inside control we are having wave control. Again inside wave control we will be having list control, base data list. Then second section which we are having, that is label control and validation summary. After that we will be having add rotator, button, calendar, checkbox, radio button, data. So these are the so many controls which we are going to learn in this particular chapter. So again chapter number 5, that is form control, is going to get a bigger one, which will take more time to complete, because we are going to learn all the controls which are currently displayed in this particular tree diagram. So these many web server controls are there. So you will be having separate question, theory question on any one of the control, or you will be having question as explain any 5 web server control. At that time you will be having option, that is whatever control you find easy you can write the answer for the same. So these are the web server controls which are available in ASP.NET. So basically web server controls can be divided into following categories. We are having validation control, then we have data source control, then we have data view control, then personalization control, login and security control, master pages, navigation control, and reach control. All these controls, all these categories we are going to learn till unit number 5. So in unit number 2 we are having some controls, like in chapter number 5 we are going to learn about navigation control, reach controls, okay, validation controls. So these many controls are there in chapter number 5 which we are going to learn. Then as I taught you in last lecture, that we have seen some control likes label, button, radio button, checkbox, right, text box. So there are some common properties which are applicable for all the type of control, okay. So this is the list. So on the basis of this you will be having a question as explain the common properties of web server control. So in that case, if you are having this type of question during the exam, then this is your answer. These are the common properties which are applicable for all types of controls. So the first one is access key property. Access key means we will be having numbering, that is 1 2 3 4, like that we will be having numbering for each and every control. According to the key we will access the specific control. Then we can set the back color and fore color. Back color means background color, fore color means font color of the control. Then we have border color, border style, border width. These are the attributes which are basically used to set the border color. We are making use of border color attribute. Border style also we are having, that is fix or shadow effect, like that we are having. Then border width also we can provide with the help of border width property. Then we are having CSS class, which is again common control. With the help of this particular control we can add the CSS file to the current document. Then we are having enable. This basically a property because of which, basically if we are using this property along with the, for example, text box, that is text box 1 dot enable equal to true. So it means what, we can be able to enter some text, and if enable equal to false, it means what, we cannot enter the text. So it is actually similar to read only property which we have learned in last lecture. So enable means it will not allow the user to interact with that particular control. Then next we are having font property, that is with the help of font. In font property we are having under font property we are having sub properties also, like font size, font name, font bold. Then the next one is we can set the height and width of the control with the help of property, that is height and width. This we have seen in text box control and all, right. We have just changed the size, so it was 22 px, that is in the form of pixel. The system is showing us the size, that is height and width of a specific control, which we can easily resize any control in design window. Then we are having tab index. Tab index means once when we click on the tab button which is present on the keyboard. So if suppose we are having the sequence as first we are having text box, then we have button, then we have label. So text box is having tab index as a 1, button is having tab index as a 2, and the label is having tab index as a 3. So when we are at text box control, after entering some value, when you click on the tab, the control or the cursor is automatically moved to the next tab index value, that is to the 2 tab index, which is assigned to button, right? So your cursor will move on to the button. So whenever you will press the key, the tab sequence, tab index value which you have assigned in a particular sequence, according to that sequence your cursor will move from one control to other. So for that purpose we are making use of tab index property. Then the next property which we are having, that is tooltip. Tooltip means when we move the cursor on a specific control, it will display the specific message. Like whenever if we are using the Microsoft Visual Studio software, then there are so many menu or so many tools which are available on a toolbar. So whenever we move a cursor on a specific tool, then below the arrow there is some message, that is basically name of the tool is displayed. So that is called as tooltip. Whenever we move the cursor on a specific control, and that time if you want to point something to the user, that this is text box, this is toolbox, like that message you can provide as a tooltip value. Then next we are having, that is visible. Visible means if we are setting the value of this particular property for any control to false, that is suppose we are having text box, then text box 1 dot visible equal to false, means in design section you will be able to see this particular control, that is text box, but when you will run that particular program on the browser, that is not visible. Why? Because we have set the visible property to true. So by default all the controls are having visible property to true only. Okay, this is the reason why all the controls are visible, and if we are setting the visible property to false, that particular control will not be appear when we will run the program on the browser. Then the next one is unique ID. Unique ID means this is again a like ID property. We are having one more property, that is unique ID, unit identifier, which we not commonly use. Then we are having skin ID. Skin ID means whenever we are taking skin file, there is one type of file, skin file, that we are going to learn in practicals. So skin file if we are using with a specific control, so skin file basically it is a kind of theme file in which you have added some look and feel related features in that particular file for a specific control. So if you want to attach a specific skin file to the specific control, then we just need to assign the ID to that specific control with the help of skin ID. So basically it is related to the topics which we are going to learn, that is themes in HTML and CSS. So in that case we are making use of this particular property. Then we are having style property also. Basically with the help of this property we can get a collection of text attributes, that is we can set the style for a specific tag with the help of style property, and actually style is a tag also which is available. Then the last property is view state enable. Basically when we call the page events, means when we start the execution of the page, there are so many events occur. In that we have heard one word, that is view state. So if we have set the is view state enable property, then definitely whatever will be the state of a specific control, that will be stored each and every time when we will call the auto post back event or when we refresh the page. So these are the common properties which are applicable for all the controls. So you are having already, this particular question is asked, that is explain the common properties of web server control. Next we are having, so now onwards we are going to start with the controls, web server control. The first web server control is the checkbox. Checkbox list. Last lecture we have seen checkbox, and now we are having checkbox list. So basically checkbox list is nothing but a list of checkbox button. which are arranged either in horizontally or vertical in manner. In both the way it is possible for us. So now we are having the syntax or the example of the checkbox. ASP colon checkbox list. So as ASP colon is added in front of the checkbox list, it means it is a ASP server control. Whenever we are having ASP colon in front of any control name, then that is considered as a ASP.NET control, web server control. Then we are having two common properties, that is ID and run at server. Then whenever you want to add the items inside the checkbox list, then we are having one more we can say that tag which we are using, that is ASP colon list item. List item is nothing but a collection class that we have used, and list item is having one more property, that is value, that you will set. And selected equal to true means whenever you run the program, and if you want that the T checkbox should be by default selected when we run the program, then just set the selected equal to true. So it is not, it is actually optional property to set, but selected equal to true means when we run the program, any list item whose selected property which we have set to true, that will be having by default checked arrow. Like in case of combo box, sorry, in case of checkbox list, we will be having tick option, that is it is automatically by default selected. So like that you can add a different items. Just keep one thing in your mind, always have value for each and every item separate, because if we are considering the same value item, it will create the ambiguity that which particular specific element we have selected from the checkbox list. So it will create confusion. So you can have text, tea, coffee, milk are nothing but the text value, okay, and tea, coffee, milk, again the same text value we have used as a value field. So this is one particular way with the help of which you can create a checkbox list. Okay, so on the source window, if you want to create the checkbox list, then type the exact program and run it. And there are other way also, that is we can take the checkbox list control from the toolbox, and with by adding edit items are the tasks which can be performed by the checkbox list. So with the help of which you can add the items. So everything I have given, or we are going to learn in the practical session, in which we will perform certain practical. So this is the code, or this is the practical. Just see the output window, checkbox list in ASP.NET. Then we will be having one checkbox list which will be having total 5 items, and when I select a specific item, after the text you selected, that particular item is get displayed. So this particular program now we are going to perform. So just let's see the program. So now we are going to learn about checkbox list in ASP.NET. We have already learned about checkbox. So checkbox basically is used for multiple selection, and again checkbox list is nothing but a list of checkboxes which comes under the same name. So now in this program I have taken total 5 elements in the checkbox list control. So this is the basic code, or the way I have added the checkbox list. So to add the items inside the checkbox list, we are having the list item, okay, and when we double click on the checkbox, we will be having checkbox list one underscore selected index change. This is the default event of checkbox list control. So now what I want to do, that is whenever I select a particular element from the checkbox list, that element should be displayed on the screen or on the label which we have taken after the checkbox list. So this is the program for the same which we want to write. Just type for each into round bracket list item, class we need to use, collection class is there, list item, which is having object as list in checkbox list one dot items. So because of this line, all the items from the checkbox list will be come inside the list variable, and list dot selected equal to true, then that particular item will be added, that item's text will be added to the label. So that code we have written, and BR we have added here because we want the output, that is selection on separate line. So just see the output. I have selected first element, so that is displayed. then the next element, that is Java, next element C Sharp. So every time, now you will see the output, every time the previous output along with the new selection will get displayed. But as we are getting new output, means that is the page load event is occurring continuously, that is auto postback event is occurred. So I just want one heading, that is selected items are as follow. So for the same I am write down label 1 dot text equal to you selected, and after this particular text you selected, I want the items which I have selected. So just see, you selected C Sharp, after that PHP. So here there is no repetition for the item. Next control which we are going to learn, that is radio button list. We have seen radio button and now it is radio button list. So again, radio button list, it is a collection of radio buttons. In case of radio button list, we need to set group name property, right? So that the single selection will be there. But in case of radio button list, we don't have to perform such thing, because it is a list of radio buttons. So when you select one item from the list, the other item automatically get deselected, right? Like that it will perform. So we don't need to have the group name, because all the radio buttons are having comes under same radio button list, that is under same group only. So it will be allows us automatic, only one item will be selected in case of radio button list control. So we can arrange the radio button list control either horizontally also or vertically also, that you will see in the practical session. So to create the radio button list, we are having tab as radio button list, then ID and run at server. These are the two properties, common properties of any ASP.NET Server control. Whenever we are taking any control from the toolbox, these properties are already present. We are just changing the name of the ID property, okay, and run at equal to server, we are keeping the same. Again, to add the items inside the radio button list, we are having list item attribute tag, which is actually a collection class. Again, like a checkbox list, here also you want to set the value, and tea, coffee, milk, which we have written, or this particular text is enclosed within a list item tag. So this is nothing but the text which is going to display. So these are nothing but the items like tea, coffee and milk. These are the three radio button list options we are providing. Okay, so in a source code, if you are writing this example, you will get to see the output which is displayed on the screen. There are some common properties which are related to checkbox list and the radio button list. So the first common property is repeat layout. It specifies whether the table tags or normal HTML flow to use while formatting the list. When it is rendered, the default is table. Basically, repeat layout means the table for. Basically, repeat layout means normally we are making use of radio button list, or to having any control we are making use of normal table tag of HTML, so that whatever controls we will be add, that will be placed properly on the browser window. So whenever we want to use the same layout or the table layout of the for HTML, then in that situation we are making use of repeat layout property. Next, we are having repeat direction in which the controls to be repeated. In which direction we want the controls to be repeated. Controls means the elements which we have added. So the values for the direction are available as horizontal and vertical. So horizontal means the controls. Now in this output, the alignment is vertical. That is, in the row format we are having the items. So horizontal mean on the same line you will be having tea, coffee, milk radio buttons. So that is horizontal alignment. So that is repeat direction attribute, with the help of which we can set the horizontal and vertical alignment. Then the next one is repeat columns. Basically default size is 0. Now in this program default size is 0 means we are having single column in which we have added the tea, coffee, milk one by one. So they are part of single column. And like that we can have the multiple columns also. And in case of multiple columns, actually we can apply the repeat direction, because if we are having 3 elements, so we should have 3 columns. Okay, and 3 columns are there, then and then only when we set the repeat direction to horizontal, the elements will be assigned to 3 columns horizontally. Like that you will get the output. You will come to know about this in a practical session. We have used this property. So these are the common properties which are associated with the checkbox list and radio button list. So you will be having question on this. Explain or write a note on checkbox list control or write a note on radio button list control. So in that you just give to write 2 to 3 lines. After that example you should give, output you should draw, and explain some of the property whatever you remember. Then this is the program which we are going to perform. Now see in this output, gender colon, then male, female and others we are having on the same line. So that is called as a horizontal alignment. So for the, it is not actually directly possible. We have set one attribute for the same, that you will come to know during the execution of the program. So now we are going to see the program which will demonstrate the use of radio button. So I am creating a specific interface, that is with the help of HTML table tag. I am creating first table which is having first row which contains first column as a gender. Then I am using second TD in which I will take the radio button, okay, from the user. I will take the radio button list control. I am setting the ID equal to RBL gender and run at equal to server. And once you close the triangular bracket of the radio button, automatically the closing part, that is closing tab of radio button list, will appear. Now I want to add 3 items inside a radio button list. For that purpose I am using the tag, that is control as list item, first text equal to male, value 1. So this is the first item, that is male. Then I want to add second item, female, and value I should change, that is 2, because as it is radio button list, each and every element should have different values. And the third item which I am adding, that is others, and now I am changing its value to 3. So we are just running the program just to check whether the radio button list is properly created or not. So just see the output, that is gender is the first column, and second column we have added 3 elements, male, female, others. So this much is correct. Now I am creating one more text box, one more table row. Before that I am adding just one thing, that is repeat columns equal to 3 property. Now we will see what is use of it. Repeat columns equal to 3, this is the reason why all the 3 radio buttons will come in a single line. Otherwise they will be one after the other. Then I am creating one more row in which I will take one button. 2 buttons actually I want to take. It's not necessary that you have to create the interface in table only, but because of table it will be properly looked. So I am creating one button, ID equal to btn select, run at equal to server. Now you must be having one question. During last lecture we have seen the controls that we are taking directly from the toolbox, and now we are typing. So this is one another way of creating the design part in ASP.NET. So this is our source window with the help of which you can create your interface. So now I am having one button which is having text as selected item, and we are having on click event. So btn select underscore click, this particular event will call when we double click on the button control. We need one more button. So I have just copied, I have taken one button. I am keeping the name as simple only, just changing the text to clear selection, text equal to clear selection. And now we just need to change the on click property also. So now we will again refresh the page and see the output whether two buttons have added or not. There is some error. We have written everything perfectly only, still we are getting some error. Just give me some time. There was some extra space after the name of the button. Now let's see whether the buttons are properly closed or not. That I have checked, and now again we are running the program. So now the buttons are added as a part of second row, and in that we are having two columns. So for the same, now we are going to write the code. First button 1 underscore click is nothing but the clear selection button, and the first button was btn select underscore click, means simply we will select the gender from the radio button list, and once we click on btn select button we should get the response, means we should get the item which we have selected. So for the same we are writing the code. Whenever we want to display anything on the browser window, then we make use of this particular method, that is response.write into round bracket, within a double quotes I display the message as selected item equal to, then after double quotes plus rbl gender dot selected item, means rbl gender is nothing but name of our radio button list. So from which whatever item we will select, that text should appear after selected item. So just we are checking the same. I have selected mail. Click on selected item. We will got the output as selected item equal to mail. So it is working properly. Now on button 1 underscore click, the text which we have written on this, that is clear text. That is for clearing the selection, we are making use of this button. So whenever we want to deselect all the selection, then just write down rbl gender dot selected index equal to -1. -1 means there is no item which is selected. So now again we are running the program. Just now I have selected female. Click on the selected item. The text appear, and after clear selection all the radio buttons are deselected.